Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and I'm doing a reading today for the sign of. We've just done Libra. We're into October season, which November is generally October, November, end of Scorpion season. So this is a reading for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, November 2021. The decks I'll be using is the Fairy Tarot deck by Doreen, Virtue, and Radleigh, Valentine. The second deck I'll be using is the Enchanted map by Colette-Baron-Reid. The third deck I'll be using is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette-Baron-Reid. So, it's a case of, I'm channeling a message now. This morning I got it. 1 foot on the accelerator and 1 foot on the brake. Then I got another channeled message. This is for November, for Scorpio. Is the platonic way that they view friendship and the way that they keep a part of themselves hidden from view. Scorpios are like the master magicians of the zodiac. They know how to duck and weave, how to hide from negative and positive light, but they also have this amazing temperament that is bubbling under the surface of the water because they're ruled by the moon. So Scorpions tend to be either as bright as the sun, and then they can go into their shadow. And their shadow is usually locking themselves away in their room, and then they're growing exponentially because when they emerge from their alone time, they come out bigger and better and sharper and stronger because they've had that time to recuperate. Scorpios tend to absorb energy, I find, from other people. They don't mean to, they just pick up on it. And that can be quite confronting if you don't want people knowing your business. Scorpios like to prod. What's another word for it? They use their claw to prod you, to get you to react, because they want to see all of you. They don't want to see bits of you. They want to know, and they want to uncover everything about you, if they're curious enough. They're possessive, extremely jealous of time and attention given to other people, and can be even jealous of whoever. Say you've got children. They can be jealous of people taking their parent away from them as a friend because they want them all to themselves. That's their possessiveness coming out in it. Very similar to Taurus energy. So they want to hold on to their family for dear life and keep their family from moving on if that's what they want for their parents. They can be like that. I always said I never wanted a Scorpion baby. And then I didn't realise I had Scorpion in my chart, and I didn't realise that the Scorpion baby was the most affectionate child I have ever come across. He was like a little koala bear. He just wanted to latch on and never let me go. And I remember he was very small. He hated tractors, couldn't stand them. And to the point that I'd have to hide him from a tractor. He'd be scared it was going to come and attack him and his mummy. And so if we saw a tractor, we had to leave the park. It's funny. And then there's other memories I've got of him where he was hated the sound of hairdryers, absolutely hated them. So if I was to go into a hair salon, I had to leave. I still do it to this day. I think it's out of habit. So she'll go, okay, we can dry it off now. I'm like, oh no, I have to go now. Because I can remember Chris was like, my son Chris was so distraught about the noise of the hairdryer that, he just screamed the house down. He still chucks his tantrums, but in other ways that are less fatal. But that's just him. That's a Scorpio for you. Deep, dark, mysterious. What you get on the surface is just the very surface. What's down underneath is deep. You can't. It's like trying to get to the abyss. You just keep going and going. We did a project together, and it was called the Amazon Jungle. And I had to do it. I think it was for some project. I did it with my other son, who's a Libra, and he gets on along really well with Scorpio. And we had to dig under the rainforest, which we found was a whole other species that we hadn't even discovered yet because it was so deep into the Amazon. So we're like, oh, there's all these other animals that the land that time forgot that we have not yet discovered. And so that's what it is. It's like uncharted waters. You don't know what you're going to get every day, because every day is going to be different. And you're going to get a different side to them. You'll only get parts of them. The parts they wish to highlight, not the parts they want to hide. So yeah, that can be difficult. My son also likes to toy with my emotions. He's got a Gemini in his chart. They both do. They like to play games. And it's annoying. But they just want to see what reaction they get out of you half the time. Yeah, he's a funny one. And we've got here Chariot. So you've got the Magician, the Nine of Winter, Swords, the Ten of Swords, 9 and 10, the Princess of Swords, and whatever else we're going to get. So that's some interesting energy. The Magician card is always, I call this my Aries card. They're the manifestors, the grand manifestors. They're the magicians of the zodiac, which is what season we're in. I have the Aries ascendant. Fiery, passionate, driven, but can manifest something out of nothing, which is always handy to have. The Magician also speaks about pulling the rabbit out of the hat, but also about being very focused on manifesting what they want. They draw it into themselves. They're the tricksters. If you can imagine using something to untie or retie, it's like Reiki. When you do Reiki, well, it's like a Reiki when I massage and something's lodged in their aura, the esoteric field, I can sense it around there. Something's really tight. That's a blocked energy, and I just remove that and imagine it's spaghetti as I massage that area, and then I can loosen it up, but it takes a bit of time because it's been there for a bit. And usually things that are psychosomatic, they come from a fear. So a lower back is usually not feeling supported enough. Intestinal is usually fear-based. Anything intestinal is fear. So you've got different areas of the body that will react, kinetic energy, that reacts to certain types of things. Water is really good to soften and slow down the sympathetic system, which is your nervous system. Water is really good. Bathtubs are essential. So we've got here, someone's having nightmares, okay? Nightmares about the future. And it's usually unfounded. It's stuff that you work yourself up to. You're focusing on the worst case scenario. 9 of Swords is like having 9 swords in your back, and you've woken up out of deep sleep, and you're in a state of shock because it was a bad nightmare. And I think most people are ruminating on everything going on with the world, with COVID. So we've got this stuff constantly in our faces, and it's not been a particularly fun time for everyone. Probably people aren't sleeping very well because they've got all this extra worries of all the energy that's out in the world now. So we've come from lockdown to we're re-entering society. So we've gone from Scorpio energy to the Magician on stage, and that's huge. That's massive. It's like an anxiety. You get an anxiety when you've been locked away in a house, in a hospital, whatever it is, and then you get exposed back into the real world again and have to cope because all your defenses are down. You've been vulnerable, and all of a sudden you've got to put your walls back up again. So it's a case of that as a hide and seek. In the past is the 10 of Wands. That's too many. You're holding too many problems, burdens by others. So maybe you were asked to carry everyone else's load because maybe they've carried some of your load and you didn't realise they were carrying your load. This is being overworked, burnout. Happens to everyone. There's either a breakdown of the body or a breakdown of the mind. And it's usually because, people are pushed to their limits. Okay. Princess of Winter is someone in your past. Maybe this was you in your past. Is someone who's a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy. Difficult. Sometimes they come out and speak their truth, which is very blunt and very cold and very to the point. They try to speak the truth with kindness. An indigo child or adult. So they could be an activist as well. They could really be someone who likes to push forward what their belief systems are, and if they are trying to support the underdog. They're inquisitive, they're truthful, they're realistic. They could be a divorcee. They could have already been married or they've had children. And they like to be on their own. Sometimes people nickname them the garbage queen because they like collecting stuff off the side of the road. That's just them. They're practical. They don't need a silver spoon. they've not been given one. They've had it very tough. They might have come from a background or an upbringing or a childhood that was not exactly comforting or nurturing. You know, they might have had to walk on eggshells around certain individuals in their life, which makes them more guarded in adult life. You don't get to know and warm up to a prickly pear or a porcupine. You can't do it. You've got to find a way to take all the quills out one by one, gaining trust. And you've got here the Chariot. This is my Sagittarian card. This is moving forward, a success that comes from dedication to self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments, being in the spotlight. It's steering your boat through the negative and the positives in your life. The Chariot is also the victory. It's the victory card. So you may have come out between a whole bunch of other people and become victorious. You may have had to go through some sort of test. It's also the card of luck when I see, and movement. So you may be traveling or looking at moving. That's the Chariot. Moving forward in life, you don't want to be stuck anymore. You want to keep moving. We've had some interesting weather patterns lately. No idea what that's about. I'm hoping it's all for the better. We needed the rain. Oh, there we go. Weather patterns. We're just talking about unusual weather patterns. This is to do with the environmentalists. So I got bushfires again. I think we're going to have another bushfire season. I had a vision of this car that imploded. That's a truck on the highway. I don't know what that's about. I was meant to see my grandfather today in hospital, and he showed me this vision of a truck exploding. And that was my sign not to go up there. It's an explosive situation. Family doesn't always get along, and if I was to go up there, it might cause a fight or an explosive argument. So I chose not to go. I wanted to go, but I think it's best at the moment. Everyone's upset and heightened emotions, you know, when you're worrying about someone. The last thing you want is a fight and an argument in a hospital. So it says here, protect the fruits of your labour. You've got challenges that lie ahead. Looking after your things, looking after the waters, the oceans, looking after our future. So you might be one of those environmentalists that have a real vested interest in looking and protecting our animals and our flora and fauna. You might be an activist for that too. Mother Earth needs us to be warriors for her, because she's had her oceans depleted, and some of our wildlife is being depleted. We've got koala issues at the moment. They're almost at extinct levels at the moment. So, I mean, maybe we need to draw awareness to those issues. And that's our national icon. If we can't protect our national icon, we're not performing as a country. If the coral reef is starting to lose its ability to reform, to keep producing, but starting to die, that means we've failed our fisheries and our coastlines. If we're not careful, we won't have a barrier reef. The wheel. It's a 1 year cycle. This is a lucky year. So the next year maybe coming is a better year for Scorpios. Oh, High Priestess. This is to do with psychic ability. The people that are out there that have these ideas that are coming from spirit, it's saying that you need to listen to your gut. Your gut will always give you the right answer. You need to follow the hunch. Go for long walks, meditational walks. And you need to find a way to calm your heightened abilities right now. Scorpio season is very intense for most people, and more so when you've got a Scorpio in your chart. It's also the card of the sexual deviant. Scorpios are known for their proudness and their passions. So maybe you have to calm that farm. There's that. And maybe you've faced that you've got a couple or a number of people that are in your orbit that have a vested interest that you did not know about. They might all start emerging. Some truths may come about that you probably weren't aware of, or they were trying to hide. Three of Pentacles. This is to do with creativity. You could be in the creative arts. You could be a creative producer, actor, writer, screenplay writer. It says you're being compensated. You need to follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you can do. Be compensated for your creative talents. You may get commissioned to do, I don't know, a work of art, a series of paintings or drawings or a sculpture or something to do with in a creative field. You may be asked to do a series or a mini-series or working in a movie that's like the Thor series or something like that, where you've got to go and do like 10 years worth of work, which is a 10-year working resume, or showreel as they used to call it. Maybe that's what that's about. And they're trying to decide on how best to advertise it or how best to promote it. You might be working for an art gallery and be a curator, and you're trying to draw awareness to the latest art exhibitions. Apparently there's one, a really good one in Newcastle at the moment, and it's got portraits of William Dobell and a whole bunch of other ones I want to go and have a look at this week. I think it'd be amazing to have a look. 7, 8, 9, 10. You may have mother issues at the moment. You may be missing your mum because it's near Christmas. Some of you may have lost a mum. You may be separated because of COVID. You may have someone around you who's a Taurus. And it just talks about luxury and nice fabrics, nice food. You may like nice food, plush fabrics like velvet, satin, things like that, brocade. It just says you might even be a fashion designer. You might even work with material. It's saying do things that, you know, you find enjoyable. And you've got here the clock. It's like someone's clock is ticking. They've only got a certain window to fulfill a role. Maybe if you may want to be a child, may have another child, and you're getting to an age where your clock is ticking, that your biological clock can only work for so many years. There's a window that you can have children. For women, it's you know, a short window. For men, it's a lot longer. Men in their 60s have babies. That's normal. But how much quality is that, though? Usually, I think it drops off the viability of the males drops off after a certain age, and you could have problems with children having, you know, disabilities and things like that. But it just says motherhood might mean you want to mother people. Maybe you look after a group of people as a mother would, and you just listen out for people and try and be an ear. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's your role. If your children don't live with you, maybe you're just an ear for them. But it says you like to mother people. My youngest used to cover up all the babies in the nursery and go sweep, sweep. He mothered all of them. He's just a natural mother. He's going to be an excellent dad one day whenever he chooses to have children. So there's that. And then we've got Wisdom of the Oracle. I got something to do with a back problem as well. That was this morning. I got shown a lower back problem. I don't know what that's about. Something to do with someone's back not feeling supported. I think it is around this season. The thyroid and the back, I read somewhere, is this moon that's coming up. It affects, and it's a Taurus moon. That makes sense with the Taurus energy. So fine foods. Watch out for overindulgence. That's another tidbit I got. But I got shown a picture of someone's back this morning. Then I googled it and it picked up that the Queen had sprained her back, and I went, oh, that's what that's about. Something to do with the back, not feeling supported. Oh, we pulled mending fences. Oh, that's good. Maybe you're mending some relationship with someone, and that's always hard, especially if it's across water, which by the looks of it is, because we've got here Treasure Island. There may be a complete ocean between you and someone else, which you're trying to mend. So we've got here the 9 and the 52. Forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal. The pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others, to set yourself free. You've come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you want to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not even aware of it consciously. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of forgiveness and an honest redress. It says everyone makes mistakes, especially when you want something very badly. You may come to realise that in chasing after a shiny, pretty thing, you lost some of it, or lost sight of long-term sustainable prosperity. Sometimes you make choices that look good at first, but ultimately lead to loss or failure. It's time to forgive yourself and others, and don't blame anyone else. You get to start again, wiser and more mature. The journey to true abundance can be bumpy. Make amends to anyone who may have hurt you along the way, especially yourself. Forgive those who may have taken advantage of you, and let go and learn from this. You are now that much closer to achieving the kind of prosperity that really fulfills you. Nothing is ever lost or wasted when you view it from this perspective. Yeah. So when you grieve someone or something, we lose our mask that props us up against the world. We lose the ability to hide how we feel because we've had to be strong for so long. Pain and suffering is part of life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view this loss, this pain, this distance as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved now more than ever by Spirit, who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know this truth. Treasure Island 9. Relationships are like plants. You've got to keep watering them. If you don't, they die. I kept a plant alive for a whole year and a half. I thought I did well. It was a chrysanthemum. Apparently, if you can look after a plant, you're ready for a relationship. If you can't, then you're not. 9. Okay. The law of attraction, bringing dreams into fruition, the results of positive thinking, made manifest abundance appearing as if from nowhere. You've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly, in the midst of it all, you hit the jackpot. You have uncovered the map to buried treasure and tapped the unlimited potential within you. What you must hone now is your ability to recognise when X marks the spot, because some of the golden opportunities may be obvious, but others may not be so readily apparent. Trust your intuition to light your way now as you enter this truly prosperous phase, where all the long, hard work navigating your inner life is now paying off externally. In all aspects of your life at this time, you have good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others. Sounds like a windfall. That's 2 windfall cards. You've got a Wheel of Fortune and Treasure Island. Your relationship is a treasure, providing you even more than you need. But you may not see the light, no matter how long you've been together. You and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourselves and each other. Now is a time of discovery. It's as if everything is in sync and everything is new again. Romance blooms and love is in the air. You can be assured that this partnership will bring you great gifts and valuable lessons. Keep your heart open. The message of this card is to celebrate love and what it teaches you. At this time, you can be confident that success is yours. Your ideas are all hitting the mark, and you're in a true manifestation period where you will see evidence of the seeds of prosperity you planted in the past. The appearance of this card is in reading indicates that your dreams and aspirations align with concrete signs of prosperity in the world of form. This is a very auspicious card and fortunate. Creative projects will flourish as inspiration strikes. Share your wealth should others too. Generosity and gratitude should lead you now. There you go. And then we have the one by Colette-Baron-Reid, the Enchanted map. So for Scorpio season, I always associate it with smoky quartz or black onyx for protection. Maybe you're being protected from something or someone. Or maybe you're being rescued. That would be nice. A rescue party. Or maybe you like to rescue other people. That's a possibility. And that just jumped out. Oh, there's the moon. Full moon in Taurus. Can't even make that up. 51. Wow. Okay. Your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane logic and analytical aspect. Follow it. Moonlight beckons. Come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself, for your alternative perception is especially sharp right now. You can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. This is a good time to use oracle cards or other systems of divination to gain insight to information. Remember that the language of intuition is a symbolic one. It comes subtly through a hunch, a tingling, a clear sound, or an animal or object crossing your path. The black cats have been walking around lately, I've noticed. And a black cat is a familiar, they say, to witches or mediums. Spirit is sending your messages to help you now. Success is yours if you follow the signs. We've got 16. Rescue. You are always safe and secure and free to be yourself. Asking for help isn't easy for many successful people. However, that's what you need to do now as you expand your life. Maybe your business is growing exponentially. You may find yourself troubled. You can expect help with whatever issue is at hand. You only need to ask and assistance will come your way. The most important support you can expect is from Spirit. Get into a right relationship with the Divine and you'll see that many conditions line up as if by magic to provide you with all the help you need. Ask and you shall receive. There is no need to fear. Safety is a place within. Well, that's the reading I have for Scorpio. If you liked it, leave a comment or share. That's all I have.